When we first open the cabin door, it feels exciting. There's that fresh scent of clean sheets, the carefully folded towels, the little touches that make us feel like we're stepping into our own private getaway on the sea. But here's the truth. Cruise lines are masters of presentation. Cabins are designed to look cozy and inviting at first glance, but most people don't realize just how small they really are until they start unpacking. On average, a standard interior cabin is only about 150 to 185 square feet. That's smaller than most studio apartments and even tinier than some hotel bathrooms. Yet, the industry knows how to make you forget the size. Strategically placed mirrors, soft lighting, and neatly tucked-in bedding are all tricks used to make a tight space feel spacious. It works so well that many passengers only realize how compact it is once their suitcases are open, their clothes are spread out, and suddenly every inch of space matters. That first impression, as magical as it feels, is carefully crafted to keep us comfortable, but also a little distracted from the reality. Behind the walls, how cabins are really built. Now, here's something most passengers never think about. The walls of cruise cabins aren't built like hotel walls. They're actually thinner, lighter, and designed to maximize space and efficiency rather than luxury. In fact, many of them are made from metal, which is why magnets stick to them. A small trick experienced cruisers use for extra storage. But thinner walls means something else. Sound travels. That's why sometimes you might hear faint voices, the sound of a TV next door, or even a drawer closing in the cabin beside you. The design isn't about privacy. It's about packing thousands of people into a floating city while making sure every inch counts. And because these walls are designed for flexibility, cabins can be quickly reconfigured. A space that's a single large suite on one voyage can be divided into 2 or 3 smaller cabins for the next, depending on demand. It's smart engineering, but it's also a reminder that what feels like your private hideaway is part of a giant, moving puzzle. The illusion of fresh air. Let's talk about those windows and balconies. Passengers often assume every cabin has a view, but the reality is very different. A large number of cabins, sometimes more than half, are interior rooms with no windows at all. Cruise lines call them inside cabins, and while they're cheaper, they can feel a little claustrophobic for first-timers. To make up for it, some ships now use virtual balconies, which are essentially floor-to-ceiling screens showing a live feed of the ocean outside. It feels high-tech and exciting, but it's still just a screen. Even with real balconies, the experience isn't as private as it looks. If you're out enjoying the sea breeze, chances are your neighbors can hear your conversations, and in some cases, even see parts of your space. That sense of seaside escape is more of a shared experience than a private retreat. Still, it adds to the magic, because for many passengers, just the illusion of fresh air and open space is enough to make them forget how compact their cabin really is.
Storage secrets that few passengers notice. One of the biggest surprises for new cruisers is how cleverly cabins hide their storage. At first glance, it looks like there's hardly any room for luggage, but then you start noticing the little details. The space under the bed designed specifically to slide suitcases, the shelves behind mirrors, the pull-out drawers tucked into the most unexpected corners. This isn't just convenience, it's necessity. When you have thousands of passengers bringing bags filled with clothes, shoes, and souvenirs, the cabins have to work like puzzles. Many passengers never even realize how much space is available. For example, on most modern ships, the bed height is purposely raised so that even the largest suitcases can fit beneath. Closets often have removable rods so you can adjust the hanging space. Even the bathroom, which feels tiny, is designed with little nooks and crannies for every bottle and toiletry. It's not luxury, it's strategy. Cruise lines know that the more comfortable you feel in your cabin, the less likely you'll complain about its size.
Cabins aren't as clean as they look. Here's a part most passengers never think about. Yes, your cabin looks spotless when you walk in, but what you're really seeing is the work of efficiency, not perfection. Cabin stewards are responsible for cleaning anywhere from 15 to 20 rooms in just a few hours. That means while the sheets are crisp, the towels are fresh, and the bathroom sparkles, not every corner gets a deep clean. Studies have shown that cruise cabins, just like hotel rooms, can sometimes harbor more bacteria on surfaces like remotes, phones, and light switches than you'd expect. That's why seasoned cruisers often bring wipes to quickly go over high-touch areas. But don't mistake this for neglect. The crews work incredibly hard, and their speed and efficiency are impressive. Still, the truth is, with the sheer number of passengers cycling in and out, cabins are designed to look immaculate, even if not every detail is perfect beneath the surface.
The hidden economy of cabins. Another truth that surprises many passengers is how much money cabins actually generate for cruise lines. On the surface, you're paying for a small room to sleep in, but behind the scenes, cabins are a major part of the business model. A standard inside cabin might cost hundreds of dollars less than a balcony room, yet the physical difference in size is minimal. What you're really paying for is the perception of value, an ocean view, a private balcony, or just a little extra space. Cruise lines rely on this psychology. They'll offer tempting upgrades, sometimes at the last minute, because they know passengers value the idea of comfort, even if the actual difference is small. That's why two cabins, side by side, can generate very different amounts of money for the cruise line, even though they were built at nearly the same cost. It's a reminder that cabins aren't just places to sleep. They're part of a carefully crafted strategy to maximize profit while keeping passengers happy.
Cabins versus time spent inside them. The funny thing is, despite all the effort that goes into cabin design, most passengers don't spend much time inside. Studies suggest that the average cruiser spends less than 30% of their waking hours in their cabin. The rest is spent exploring the ship, dining, watching shows, or relaxing by the pool. And that's exactly how cruise lines want it. Cabins are built to be good enough to keep you comfortable, but not so luxurious that you'd rather stay inside than go out and spend money on drinks, excursions, or spa treatments. This is part of the hidden truth. The cabin is just one piece of the cruise experience, not the centerpiece. As soon as you step outside, the ship itself becomes the attraction. The restaurants, the entertainment, the shopping, all of these are designed to pull you away from your room and into spaces where you'll spend more. The cabin may feel like the heart of your trip when you first arrive, but by the end of the journey, most passengers realize it's just a small part of the adventure.
The bigger picture. What cabins reveal about cruising? When we put all these truths together, cabins tell us something important about cruising. They're small, sometimes noisy, and designed for efficiency rather than luxury. They look fresh, but aren't always spotless in the way we imagine. They're priced not just by size, but by the value we think we're getting. And yet they work. They do exactly what they're meant to do. Give us a comfortable place to rest between all the excitement happening on the ship. Passengers might never learn every detail about how cabins are built, maintained, or priced, but what matters is the experience. Cruise lines know how to turn tiny rooms into cozy havens, how to make us forget the lack of space, and how to make us feel at home in the middle of the ocean. And maybe that's the biggest secret of all. The cabin itself isn't the star, it's the stage where your memories begin.
Closing thoughts. So the next time we step into a cruise cabin, we'll see it a little differently. We'll notice the mirrors that make the room look bigger, the clever storage tucked into every corner, the paper-thin walls, and maybe even the quiet hum of the ship behind it all. It may not be as private, spacious, or pristine as it first appears, but it's part of the magic of cruising. A small floating home that makes the bigger adventure possible. Because in the end, the truth about cruise cabins is simple. They're not perfect, but they're unforgettable. And sometimes, that's all we really need.
Final thoughts. Safety is real, but so are the risks. So, what do we take away from all this? Cruising is still one of the most enjoyable ways to travel, and for the most part, it's safe. But like any form of travel, it comes with risks. Risks that cruise lines don't always emphasize. Fires, medical limitations, security concerns, and evacuation challenges are all part of the bigger picture. Knowing these secrets doesn't mean we should avoid cruises. Instead, it means we should board with awareness. Pay attention during safety drills. Follow crew instructions, take precautions with health and security, and remember that the ocean is unpredictable. By being informed, we not only protect ourselves, but also gain a deeper respect for the complex world of cruise safety. So, next time you step onto a cruise ship and hear the calming announcements about safety and relaxation, you'll know there's a lot more happening behind the scenes than meets the eye.
Don't forget about hidden fees. Even though cruises advertise as all-inclusive, there are plenty of hidden fees that catch passengers off guard. Service charges, gratuities, room service fees, and even soda or bottled water can come with extra costs. Internet access is another big one. It can cost over $20 a day on some ships. If we're not prepared, these little charges sneak up and add hundreds of dollars to the bill. Reading the fine print and asking questions before boarding can save a lot of frustration later.
Never be careless with personal safety. Cruise ships are generally very safe, but that doesn't mean we should let our guard down. Just like in any city, theft can happen. Leaving valuables lying around in our cabin or unattended by the pool is never a good idea. Most cabins have safes. Using them is simple and smart. And when we're in port, staying aware of our surroundings is just as important as it would be in any unfamiliar city. A little common sense goes a long way in making sure we enjoy ourselves without unnecessary risks.
Don't overdo the food and drinks. We all know cruises are famous for endless buffets and bottomless drinks. It's part of the fun, but going overboard, literally and figuratively, can ruin the trip. Eating way too much or drinking too heavily can leave us feeling sick and exhausted. It's easy to forget that we still need balance and moderation, even while on vacation. Enjoying the delicious food and cocktails is part of the experience, but pacing ourselves ensures we don't spend half the trip recovering in bed instead of soaking up the fun.
So, as we can see, cruising is all about balance. It's about relaxing, exploring, and enjoying ourselves, but also knowing what not to do. From skipping safety drills to underestimating seasickness or ignoring those hidden fees, each mistake can take away from what should be a smooth and memorable vacation. But when we're prepared, respectful, and mindful, cruising truly becomes that dream experience we imagine. At the end of the day, it's not just about where the ship takes us, it's about how we choose to enjoy the journey. And when we avoid these mistakes, we can focus on exactly that: the joy of the open sea, the adventure of new destinations, and the fun of making memories that last long after the cruise is over.